Look, we want to see people paid enough money to live on and rewarded fairly for the contribution that they make. But what you're asking me is not, would we match inflation? You're asking me to commit to a specific number without having been invited into the negotiations and seeing the books. What I can tell you is that we think it's unconscionable that nurses and rail workers who went out and kept this country moving during a pandemic are not being paid enough to put food on the table. We're looking at every single way that we could help with that, including a long-term plan for the economy, and getting more resources very quickly in the first 100 days of a Labour government into the National Health Service through scrapping non-dom tax status so that we can ease the workforce pressures. There's a real capacity problem in the NHS. People are very burnt out, and that is compounding the cost of living crisis. So we're going to use every means at our disposal to help people because they deserve it and because the country can't go on like this.
But if you believe workers deserve it, can you give workers watching this morning, or the rest of our viewers, any sense of the kinds of increases that you might support? 5%, 7%, 15% like the barristers got? Can you give us any sense of the kind of number that would be acceptable?
Well, I could do that, but I would have to pluck it out of thin air because we haven't seen the books, we haven't been invited into the negotiations, and so it's not possible for me to tell you what's affordable. What's worse than that, though, is not that we haven't been invited into the negotiations, but that those workers haven't. The reason that we're facing strike action is because you've got nurses after 106 years who are going out on strike because the health secretary refused to meet them all summer in order to negotiate. The only reason he met them is because strike action became a real and looming prospect.